Avalanche picking up steam. The 13th largest crypto has some big tailwinds behind it. Could it be the next L1 to shine? Meme me up, Scotty. The meme coin supercycle continues to dominate the debate while an AI agent becomes a millionaire trading some seriously edgelord stuff. Probably nothing. And a closer look at last week's top-performing cryptos, dates for your diary, tweets of the week, Nick wearing trousers, and much more besides. This is the Coin Bureau News, live. Hello, everyone.
What's up, guys?
We are live. Sorry, we're a little bit late. Gosh, nearly 10 minutes. My apologies. It is all my fault. I've just been racing to get back from the...
Not really all your fault, though. Not really all your fault.
Well, not really my fault, but... It's Monday, and a new week in crypto is getting underway. Here with all the top stories to get you up to speed, it's the Coin Bureau News. Bullish AF. As Bitcoin flirts with 70k, search trends show wider interest is still at yearly lows. Why the crypto market is just getting warmed up. Election day looming. Speaking of things warming up, the US presidential election is just over 2 weeks away. What have Trump and Harris been up to? And is election fever driving the rally in crypto? Avalanche picking up steam. The 13th largest crypto has some big tailwinds behind it. Could it be the next L1 to shine? Meme me up, Scotty. The meme coin supercycle continues to dominate the debate while an AI agent becomes a millionaire trading some seriously edgelord stuff. Probably nothing. And a closer look at last week's top-performing cryptos, dates for your diary, tweets of the week, Nick wearing trousers, and much more besides. This is the Coin Bureau News, live. Hello, everyone.
What's up, guys?
We are live. Sorry, we're a little bit late. Gosh, nearly 10 minutes. My apologies. It is all my fault. I've just been racing to get back from the...
Not really all your fault, though. Not really all your fault.
Well, not really my fault. But yes, apologies for that. So welcome to the Coin Bureau weekly live news show. My name is Guy, and I am joined, as ever, by Nick.
What's up, guys? How's it going? Yep.
Good to see you all. Thanks for joining. I was really hoping that we would get to 70k by the time this live stream started. This morning, it was kind of creeping up that way. And it's sort of, I think we're around 68k now. So America, it is on you, my friends. Get us to that 70k mark today. I think we'll
push it up, man. Yeah. I feel a bit like a fish out of water now, to be honest.
Why is that, Nick?
I don't know, man. These long pants, they don't suit me. I feel like a cat in a dog's kennel, you know, bird in a cage. They're just not free enough, man. But the fans got into the comments. So I was like, okay, well, I can't let my legs always be the talk of the show.
Exactly. Your legs are in danger of upstaging the rest of crypto. Yeah. We can't have that. And well, judging by the reaction of the people in the comments, they're delighted. So there you are. You're locked into trousers.
I'm locked into. Okay. Well, you know,
it's about time. I think it's about time. Okay. So a lot to talk about today. It has. There's been a lot going on.
A lot. Yeah. I mean, Bitcoin. So let's start with the first news story. So it's bearish, maybe bullish, right? So this is obviously with relation to. Although Google search trends are down, right, for Bitcoin, right? Yeah. So it's basically like the lowest they've been. And this could be bullish. This could be bullish or bearish depending on which way you want to look at it. The one way is bullish is that there's so many other on-chain indicators. Obviously, the price is looking good. It's, you know, open interest is near all-time highs. ETF flows were amazing last week, over 2 billion. But then there's also you basically people on the Google side, they're not paying attention. Yeah, that's the one thing. So people are not really paying attention. So when retail does really start paying attention, that's going to be, then you're going to start seeing the price rate pick up a lot more and take us over the all-time high. So that's the one view you can look at it. And the other one was the discussion we had last week, which is like, how many people actually using Google to search for Bitcoin?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's true. Yeah, Google seems to be losing a lot of currency, I think, doesn't it? It's no longer. I mean, just the fact that people are talking about Google dominance, if you like, dropping, is kind of amazing, given how much of the market it's had for so long. Yeah. But yeah, and it's facing Google, obviously facing competition from AI programs like ChatGPT and Perplexity, but also from the likes of TikTok as well.
Yeah, exactly.
People do actually look at TikTok, search TikTok in order to get news. I find that baffling, but then, you know, I'm just an aged millennial, so what do I know? But I think that's kind of amazing. But yeah, it is. So although Google search trends for Bitcoin are down, this is not necessarily the bearish indicator it might be.
No, definitely not. But on the flip side, though, potentially, if you're looking at overhyped stuff, meme coins the meme coin search trends are like flying, right?
Okay.
So that's another angle to look at it. So if people are all paying attention to meme coins right now, but they're not paying attention to the big story, what's happening with Bitcoin. Like I said, some of the big story is, of course, what's happening in terms of the on-chain indicators. So like I said, last week we had over 2.1 billion. We've got this chart here you can show from Farsight Investors. And that's the Google search trends. That's what K33 also had a report out on this Google search trend stuff. We also got that on the screen. Let me read the quote they said. Counterintuitively, this is a promise in terms of the low search trends. K33 says, counterintuitively, this is a promising sign for the time ahead. Bitcoin rarely melts lower when retail participation is lower. So basically, we're not going to have any sort of cascading liquidations down. And behind the low search traffic numbers lies the potential for retail revitalization should narrative and strength materialize, implying that the market is in a robust spot to liven up should a positive catalyst erupt. And we know there's a lot of potential positive catalyst. Over 2.1 billion. We're breaking the record highs with the IBIT fund as well in terms of the flows going into that. And this is obviously what's driving a lot of the price action. And there's also, there's other factors as well. There's lower supply as well. There's some supply indicators on the Glassnode chart, which I don't think we have here, but that show that, we've all measures of like available supply.
Yeah.
The hodl supply is increasing, and then the available supply is decreasing. So obviously you can have a supply crunch come in as well. So this is all leading to obviously this massive outperformance of Bitcoin, outperformance of altcoins as well, right?
Yeah.
In general and abroad. And this is what we see from the Bitcoin dominance, 3-year high. Right, so that's another news story from last week. We've got the Bitcoin dominance that's now at a 3-year high.
Yeah. So, I mean, and obviously Ben Cowan has been talking about this for a long time and has been thoroughly vindicated. But obviously, Bitcoin dominance reaching those highs is a sign, perhaps, that we are getting near to that tipping point. Perhaps when we start seeing that rotation into altcoins and the rest of the market.
Yeah.
But I think Bitcoin dominance probably does now that it has the ETFs behind it, and as you say, they've been seeing sort of record inflows recently. I mean, even the Ethereum ETFs have seen some inflows. But yeah, Bitcoin, and we've got an amazing tweet later on that I think is gonna visualize that for you, just how incredible these ETFs have been. But we also had over on Coin Bureau Trading, Aaron did a really good video talking about Bitcoin dominance.
Moon and Papa, nice, slightly shorter as opposed to Ben Cowan's 45 minutes, 50-minute lectures, as in depth as they are. Great coverage, but he just did a nice tweet, 20-minute summary of how you can utilize Bitcoin dominance in your trading adventure. That was very interesting. We'll link to that as well. So Coin Bureau Trading.
So we've got Bitcoin dominance rising. We've got sort of general market sentiment improving, even though those search trends are down. But as we've talked about, Google isn't what it was anymore. We've also got this from CoinDesk. Asian investors are getting excited about Bitcoin as well. And talk of 100K by year's end. I mean, I think that is very much in play.
Very much so, yeah. Especially if we get the election catalysts and all this kind of stuff, and then you've also got FTX, repayments coming out, and Bitcoin option, ETF options, all these gamma squeezes.
Yeah, you were talking about that a few weeks ago, weren't you? That's one of these things that sort of maybe a lot of people underestimated.
Yeah, so they were approved to list on the CME. They've approved this weekend to list on some of the exchanges, right? So the exchange, it's almost that one step closer to actually launching. So we'll see if that gamma squeeze comes.
Even more TradFi exposure.
Exactly, and get it, and then obviously that gamma squeeze, which is what we talked about previously, right, with the hedges. So Bitcoin is all looking good, man. It's looking good.
I just want to flag up one thing before we move on to the next story, and this is the fact that a few people might have missed this, but we just had the biggest acquisition in the history of the crypto industry take place. So this is Stripe acquiring a stablecoin platform called Bridge. So to sort of Bridge facilitates stablecoin issuance, stablecoin payments, things like that, for $1 billion.
Yeah, it's the biggest in crypto, right? And it's the biggest acquisition I think Stripe has done. And it's and this it was started by some ex-Coinbase and Block engineers and everything. And now it means Stripe is going big into crypto.
Yeah.
the
So-
signs, the stars look, the stars are aligned, man.
Crypto mass adoption incoming. Hold on to your butts. Okay, so let's move on to the next story then, because one of the big catalysts that seems to be driving the crypto market, and indeed other markets as well, is the upcoming presidential election in the United States. I don't know if you guys have heard anything about this.
Right? Is there an election in the US?
Absolutely, there is, Nick.
I would never
There is.
know, man.
Oh,
Wow.
you need
I'm
to be
just,
paying attention.
Uh,
It is now just over 2 weeks away. So in a little over 2 weeks' time, we can stop talking about it, or we can stop speculating on it, and we'll hopefully know one way or another.
you hope.
We hope, yeah. So obviously, this is going to have a big effect. This is currently having a big effect on the crypto market, I think. But that effect is probably going to get bigger and bigger as we get closer to the day, and then obviously depending on who ends up in the White House in just over a couple of weeks' time. Now, at the moment, if you're a believer in prediction markets, the likes of Polymarket, etc., then Donald Trump has a very healthy lead. Now, this has been the subject of much debate.
Yeah.
As usual, crypto Twitter has found something to argue with
Right.
itself about. But yeah, if you go and have a look on Polymarket, Donald Trump has got some pretty big margins over Kamala Harris, including in critical swing states such as Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, etc.
Yeah.
So this has, perhaps unsurprisingly, also thrown up allegations that maybe Polymarket is being manipulated.
Yeah, I mean, there was one bettor who's got like across 4 wallets, right?
Mm-hmm.
That basically pointed out that he's been placing these massive trades. We call them the Polymarket whale.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, there's allegations that could they be trying to manipulate the polls, right? Potentially manipulate. I've seen some theories manipulate in the way for Trump, so that it incentivizes his people think he's winning. And I saw another crazy theory that it could potentially provide cover for Trump in case he wants to say it was stolen if he doesn't win.
Right.
That's also crazy. I personally, if you want to put your tinfoil hat on, right, and you want to really speculate, and if you do think that this is a whale trying to manipulate the polls, that it could be a left-leaning whale who basically wants to incentivize voters to come out to the polls, right? Because obviously Democrats do better when you've got the high voter participation, especially amongst the younger crowd. So if they're worried, remember back in 2016 there was the complacency with 90% chance of Clinton, right?
Yeah.
That people chose not to go to the polls.
Yeah.
I just think that it's all. I think that all these theories are just tinfoil hats. I think that if you believe that the odds are skewed, it's an open market. Go and place a bet. If you think Kamala's underpriced, go and place a bet for it, right? And this is it, right? So it's like,
I think if we go to Occam's razor, the most likely explanation is that someone out there with a lot of money is convinced Trump is going to win. That would be what I think. Maybe there's some manipulation going on. Maybe it's a red psyop or a blue psyop. We don't know, but I think it's probably most likely that someone out there is just convinced Trump is going to win and wants to add to their already massive fortune, it would seem, by having a punt on Polymarket.
But I mean, it's not, to be fair, that is true. Polymarket is a bit slanted, quite aggressively. However, there has been a rally in a lot of Trump stocks, Trump proxy stocks. So I mentioned one of these potentially is called Geo Group. Now, this Geo Group is, interestingly, they run private prisons. Now, of course, you can have your ethical view on that is one thing, but obviously they have all the contracts for the detention centers at the border, potentially.
I see.
So so it's been trading very much like a Trump proxy stock. There's many of these other proxy stocks that you could potentially use as like a proxy for how well Trump is doing in the TradFi markets. And then there's other people like Stanley Druckenmiller. So there's Geo Group basically.
Okay.
And that's the chart as Geo Group. And there's also Stanley Druckenmiller, who's obviously a TradFi, investor. He's come out and he said, if he had a gun to his head, that he would say Trump is more likely to win because the stocks are moving that way. Generally, the stock market is showing that. The energy stocks as well. And Bill Ackman as well. He said that the market is showing that a lot of Trump trades are rallying in these stocks related to stocks that would do well in a Trump policy, like energy, for instance, right? It's interesting that's, at least in traditional finance as well, there is a slant towards potentially Trump winning this.
Okay, so it seems that Trump has a lot of backers, in the markets, as it were.
Yeah, people putting their money, a lot more money at risk than just a poly market beta, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you literally, institutions are adjusting portfolios based on whether they think, this policy will be adjusting in terms of what potential policies that Trump could be putting out if he does win, which is why energy probably, doing well, maybe industrials not so much.
And of course, crypto, because as we've said many times before, pointed out, Donald Trump has been very vocally pro-crypto. He's even picked up, it would seem, on the meme of crypto people ending up working at McDonald's. We should have got a picture for this, but I'm sure you guys have all seen it. Quite a few people have pointed out that these images of Trump sort of, I think he's like brandishing a thing of fries. It looks really AI generated, even though it isn't.
It isn't, but it's there. I saw a tweet earlier. It's like, there's Trump standing, all the McDonald's workers next to him. It's like Trump standing with a bunch of WIFA holders, World Financial, Liberty World Financial holders, his crypto project.
Yeah. But so he's certainly sort of putting himself out there. But we should talk about Kamala Harris as well. Harris has been a lot quieter on crypto. I remember a couple of weeks ago, we talked about the fact that she'd mentioned blockchain and digital assets, I think it was, as a sort of private
and AI, all catch-all, so I can just tick all boxes in one sentence.
Tick those boxes. But I think the important thing is that it looks like whoever wins, whether it's going to be Trump or Harris, I think the really important thing here is that it's going to be a break from the Biden administration. Because if we can break, there's a heat map that Galaxy have put together with Biden and Harris and Trump's crypto policies laid out side by side, and as you can see, Biden is by far has proven to be by far the most anti-crypto of the three of them. Yes, Trump has been a lot more vocally pro-crypto, but you also can't argue with the fact, on this evidence at any rate, that Harris would certainly be better than Biden.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So, I mean, from a crypto point of view, like, I hesitate to say this because crypto can always find a way to lose. But from a crypto point of view, it's perhaps a bit win-win, this election, in that we will end up with an administration that is not the current one. Yeah,
exactly. Whether prices, I do think that if she does win, prices will adjust down quickly because they've been pricing in a Trump victory, right? If it doesn't come, but it's still going to be net in terms of regulation, in terms of what she could be doing. The industry won't be as bad as Biden, right? So it's not all, it's not all bad if she does win, right? At least for the crypto industry, right? As much as they put it out to be, it's not cataclysmic unless she does make someone like Elizabeth Warren there.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned Elizabeth Warren because I think last week she debated John Deaton. Obviously, they're contesting Massachusetts, and Warren was complaining about the fact that Deaton was receiving so much funding from the crypto industry, and I think generally complaining about crypto generally. And I've actually seen quite a lot of stuff on YouTube and elsewhere, sort of pointing out just how much the crypto industry has been donating to this campaign. Mm-hmm. And I should say, like, obviously, a lot of crypto money has found its way to Trump, but some has found its way to Harris as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can tell that the crypto industry now is a much more powerful player, and I think that means that neither candidate can afford to ignore it.
We are not to be trifled with.
Exactly. Don't F with us, all right? Okay. All right, now let's move on. Let's talk about something more crypto specific here. This is the 13th largest crypto by market cap. We were talking about Avalanche a bit last week when we talked about Off the Grid, this battle royale game that had launched on an Avalanche subnet.
You played it. You enjoyed it. Yeah.
I played it. Yes, I did enjoy it. I mean, I wasn't any good at it, but then I wasn't expecting to be. But it did look really cool. So it was the Avalanche Latin America conference
as well. Yes, last week there.
We are deep in conference season now.
Yeah, deep.
I tell you. It's so these conferences are often, where the places where these projects unveil kind of new upgrades, new alpha, et cetera, and Avalanche really does seem to be going for that GameFi narrative, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So if you guys don't recall, Off the Grid, we looked at it last week. It's obviously this brand new battle royale that's launched. There's so much excitement about it. Obviously, the gameplay is amazing, and there are many people who think that this could be the mainstream game to break into it. And actually, it's not they're doing it smartly. They're not trying to like make crypto the whole thing about it. They're basically trying to focus first on the gameplay. Let's make sure that we get traditional gamers on board, and they want to actually play the game before we start talking about the crypto components. And that's true because they don't want to get force-fed the GameFi narrative and to go straight off, right? So essentially, but it will have the native token, GUNS token, that will run on an Avalanche subnet. right? And obviously, Avalanche subnets is basically like you need to lock up AVAX, right, to be able to run a subnet. And obviously, if this is a proof of condition for AVAX subnets as a GameFi L1, then a lot of other games could potentially follow suit. And also remember, Avalanche has also been utilized. Subnets have also been utilized in RW and real world asset issuance. There's JP Morgan who did Onyx last year. So what I think is interesting is that, yeah, I mean, the more subnets that are launched, the more AVAX is